everybody, I'm Nora Burrows. Welcome to episode 3 of the Fidget Quilt series. If you haven't checked out episodes 1 and 2, you can go ahead and do that, or you can just jump in right here. This is a series where you can kind of come and go as you like. You're not going to miss anything. But today we have something really fun, I think. I had found these fabric leaves that are kind of like this silvery, grayish, purplish tone. I have a bunch of them, probably like 10. And I thought, how cool would they be to match with this, this flannel birch tree-like fabric. And I have some other trimmings that we can take a look at now. If you're not familiar with fidget quilts, these are quilts that are very tangible. So they're all kinds of different textures and layers and kind of working with fabric in interesting ways. They're really great for kids who have problems focusing or adults who have challenges focusing. They're really great for people who might have some stress to be able to have something tangible to feel. And they're great for Alzheimer's patients as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have and make something. I have 9 of these pretty leaves in different tones of purplish gray. Then I have the birch fabric that I mentioned. These are all flannels of different colored grays that I have. But let's look at some of these trimmings. So this might be a little bit too like metallic and crazy. I want this to kind of be a little bit calmer, but this could be really cool. We could do some top stitching with this silver thread here. This might also be like a little too much, but these I think are iron on, so we could just cut one of these off. I think it's yeah, so this is like a long string of them, so we could either use these like as a border. They're a little stuck, or we could cut each one off and use it individually if we wanted to, but those are kind of cool. This I think will be perfect. So it's this really pretty lace trim purple. We have this rope, this white rope here. And I just grabbed these from my trimmings bin. Then these again might be like a little too sparkly, but this feathery one could be cool, or this lace one could be cool. And then this is another lace one that I think would go in terms of color and style. And then I have these couple ones, and that's it. So let me lay out the birch fabric here. What I'm thinking to start is I'll just cut a couple strips of these and sew on some leaves like this onto the birch trees, kind of like that. And then we'll go from there. I cut 2 strips here. Each one is 6 by 8.5. And I have 9 of these leaves, as I mentioned, but I'm only going to use 8 because I'm going to put 4 on each strip. Let's lay these out and see what we think. This looks kind of like random with these leaves just kind of plopped on here. So I think what I'm going to do is sew a strip of this metallic silver rickrack along 2 of them on this middle trunk. So one like this, and the leaves will kind of be coming off of that, and then one right next to it like this. And I think it's looking pretty good. I really like this. So let's place the leaves on, and they could be uneven. You could do 4 on one side and 5 on the other, but I don't know, it looks a little bit unbalanced to me. I wish I had another one. I do have these feathers, and I could make one of these like a feather, but I just don't think this is gonna last long on a fidget quilt. Okay, so I'm just gonna sew these on by just sewing a line right up the stem of each leaf. And as we go forward, I may sew them on a little bit more securely, but for now, I just kind of wanna get them on here. The leaves are sewn on, and I'm really happy with this. I think this is really beautiful. What to do next? So I have these 2 pieces here. I think I want to add a border to each one of these, kind of like, maybe like this. So if I have a thin border, you know, if I made it, you know, like a 1.5 inch border or so, and then did some lace kind of around, well, that kind of blends too much. I'm not as happy. Let me think, what else? How about this one? I don't have enough of this one to go around. Ooh, that's really cool. But I only have, let's see, could go down one side, go down twice, and that's it. So I only have so I could do one piece of lace, you know, on the left of each one of these blocks. I have this lace here. And that's pretty. I like this one better. What else? There's this feather one, which I don't know how this would hold up, to be honest. I think over time I would maybe zigzag stitch this on and then do some extra secure hand stitching on it, but that's kind of cool. Let me think about it. In addition to my trimmings, I also have a big bin of lace. So I went up and grabbed some of this pretty lace from that bin. Look how much of it I have. This was from the Fabric Reuse Center, and I think it's really beautiful. And the color is pretty perfect. What would happen if, I don't think I want to put it directly on the white because I think it would blend a little too much, but I could put a layer of lace around each side like this. And remember I had this pretty purple one that was too dark on that gray fabric, but if I put it kind of like that, that could be really pretty. And then I could do a border maybe of this polka dot along the outside. And I think that could work really well. So I'm kind of leaning, I could just have a little bit of the white peeking out and then have this polka dot. What I think I'm going to do is cut strips of this white to border all four sides of both of my blocks. I've cut my strips and I've cut my lace. I'm going to sew the lace onto each one of these strips, but I'm going to sew it about a 1/4 inch away from the edge to allow for some seam allowance. I have my lace sewn on. You can see I did a thread line along the top and the bottom to really secure it on here. So what I'm going to do next is I'll sew right sides together, the top on, and flip it. Right sides together, the bottom, and flip it, and then trim just like I did here. Now I can sew the right on, right sides together, and flip, and same with the left. These are looking pretty good. I am very happy with how these are coming out. I'm going to trim them up and then cut strips of this polka dot and add a border of the polka dot all the way around each of the two blocks. And here we are. I want to talk about this fur strip, but first a couple other things. First of all, I decided to do 5 leaves and 4 leaves. Even though they're not even, I decided that in nature things are not even, so that would be fine, and I think it looks okay. Here you can get a kind of a close-up of how this is looking. I think it's really beautiful. It's really lovely. I'm very happy with it so far. There is one more thing I think I want to add, perhaps, but before that, I realized that I forgot to add this purple strip, but I actually don't think it needs it. I could still add it if I really wanted to, and it would be kind of just going along the edge, maybe even hand sewing it on. Curving it would be the problem, but you could kind of just tack that down there. But I don't think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get rid of this, but I can use this somewhere else in this project another day, another video. Now I have this fur. It came on this spool, so I guess you would consider it a ribbon, but it's fabric. I think it's super cool, and I've had it for a long time. I don't have a lot of it though, and so what I was kind of thinking is that I could put a strip down the middle and then maybe a strip on each side, but I don't have enough to do that. So let's see, I have enough for the middle and then to go again Oh, I do have enough to do that. The other option is that I could do a strip down the middle, and then I could do something kind of weird and kind of do a strip along the bottom. So it would be the middle and then all the way across the bottom. So it wouldn't be quite even or symmetrical because the top and the sides wouldn't have the fur. So now I can't decide if I should do one down the middle and then one on each side, or one down the middle and one along the bottom. I'm kind of inclined to do one down the middle and then one along the bottom. So here I just made the cut. So I cut this strip down the middle, and then this is how it would look with one on the other side. You can kind of imagine it over on the left as well, or down on the bottom. I'm really having a hard time with this choice. I'm not really sure what to do. As I was trying to make my choice, I remembered that I had this gray kind of faux suede material here. And so I thought that maybe I would put this down kind of behind these blocks, and that would help me make my choice. Maybe I would do kind of a border around the whole thing of this gray suede, but it might be too dark. Let's see. So here is the gray suede that would be a border around this whole thing, and I kind of love it. Now let's see if this strip was along the side instead, and then there'd be one on the other side too. I think I like it better along the bottom. Yeah, there's something kind of cool about that. Oh gosh, I'm just having a hard time with this. Final choice, I'm doing this. The textures in this piece are gonna be great because this is all flannel, flannel, flannel. You have a little bit of texture with the lace, obviously with these leaves, this amazing fur, and then this gorgeous suede. So I am very enthusiastic about this and its fidget quilt aspects. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna sew this onto these two pieces, and then I'll sew this onto this full piece. Okay, surprise, surprise, I changed my mind and I did something different with the fur than I said I was going to. I don't know how I'm feeling about this, to be honest. It's a little weird. I really do love weird quilts and weird quilt blocks, but I think I may have ruined this one, but it's okay. Next, I'm going to cut strips of the charcoal gray suede. I sewed this one strip on to the top here, and I'm gonna take it off. I haven't sewn the bottom one on yet, and I won't. I just think it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit heavy and dark. So I'm gonna take this strip off, and then this will just be how we end for this video. We're back to here. I'm really disliking the fur, I think, at this point. I'm gonna put this aside, and perhaps the fur will grow on me, and I can always take it off, right? I can always just take them off and have my two separate blocks again later if I want to do that. So here's a close-up. I'm going to take pictures of this so that you can kind of see it a little bit better. But a lot of this I'm really happy with, and then some of it I'm just not. So you'll have to stay tuned and see what happens in the upcoming episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.